call the roll, please.
Correct.
This is the Air Pollution Control Board for Tuesday, February 26th. Missy MacArthur. Supervisor Les Baugh.
Here.
David Kehoe.
Here.
Leonard Modi.
Here.
And Debbie Hopkins.
Here.
Thank you.
Thank you. First order on the agenda is the public comment period. Comments should be limited to matters within the jurisdiction of the Air Pollution Control Board. Pursuant to the Brown Act, action or board discussion cannot be taken on open time matters other than to receive the comments and, if deemed necessary, to refer the subject matter to the appropriate department for follow-up and or to schedule the matter on a subsequent board agenda. Do we have any requests, ladies, for, is there anyone in the audience that would like to address the board? All right, let's move to R1. Regular calendar presentation. Receive a presentation on the activities of the Air Quality Management District and the responsibilities of the Air Pollution Control Board. Mr. Cruz. You're not making this. Mr. Bell is making the presentation. Well, I don't know who's making the presentation.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the Air Pollution Control Board. My name's Ross Bell. I'm the Air Quality District Manager for Shasta County Air Quality Management District. And thank you for the opportunity to make this presentation to the board. We don't often get a chance to do things like this. The Air Quality Management District endeavors to manage and enhance air quality resources of Shasta County through a balanced program of environmental oversight and protection of public health. The AQMD functions as professional staff to the Air Pollution Control Board regarding rule development, grants, potential industrial and commercial development. Let's see what we got here. How do we do this? The district activities to promote air quality include a large number of stationary source permits. We issue burn permits. We have a series of district rules. We also collaborate in implementing regional plans. We do monitoring, and we also provide grants for various air pollution reduction projects. So I'll try to go through each one of these steps here. The district currently has about 480 stationary sources of air pollution that are permitted. The vast majority of these are diesel engines. They also include retail above ground gas tanks, aggregate quarries and asphalt plants, boilers, paint spray booths, such as what you'd find at automotive refinishers and dry cleaners. In addition to the standard permits that we have, we also have a dozen Title V permits. A Title V permit is a permit for a major source, and a major source is anything that has the potential to emit more than 100 tons of a criteria air pollutant. I've got them listed on there. The two landfills are required to have Title V permits based on their federal rules that they fall under. Additionally, Reading Power also has a Title V permit, even though they're not permitted to go above 99 tons. They are a source of acid rain, and they have an acid rain permit and therefore have to have a Title V permit. The other sources that we have, Bernie Forest Power, this is probably our third largest source. This is the first facility as you drop down into the Bernie Basin. Bernie Mountain Power is to the east of Bernie. It's currently shut down, but their permit is active. Knopf is in the city of Shasta Lake. Lehigh Southwest is one of our largest, sometimes is our largest based on the production rate of emissions in Shasta County. They're in Mountain Gate. The PG&E compressor station is also in Bernie. And then we have two Sierra Pacific facilities in Anderson and one in Bernie. And then the Wheelabrator Shasta facility. This is a large facility, one of our largest emitters. And the Wheelabrator Lassen facility runs a power turbine that's still operating at the old paper mill. District also issues burn permits, approximately 150 to 200 a year. These burn permits can come with smoke management plans that are specific prescription for burning over and above just burn on a burn day or not. Last year, 4,500 acres were burned with these district-issued permits. These will typically go to the logging companies and to the forest owners, Forest Service and Whiskey Town are holders of a lot of these permits. And permits are required for all commercial and agricultural burning in Shasta County. The district has a series of 5 rules. I didn't put Rule 1 on, that's the title and definitions. These rules govern how we issue the permits. They govern what the sources can do. These are the prohibitions on VOC content or how you're going to run your boiler, things like that. We also have procedures before the hearing board, and then we have the Title V permit issuance rule also. The district responds to about 150 complaints per year. Right now, we're out on a couple of excessive smokes. We get a lot of illegal burning complaints this time of year and burning out of hours and out of season complaints. In the summertime, we'll see more odors, construction, and road dust also. If we have a complaint and see a violation, or if we uncover a violation at one of our sources, we do have a mutual settlement policy that was approved by your board about 7 or 8 years ago, and that settlement can go from $250 to $1,000 per day of violation. And this is in lieu of court action. When we do see a violation, we will just about all the time invoke the mutual settlement policy. The district receives $10,000 to $20,000 a year in these settlement fees. And in 2012, we issued 9 NOVs to individual burners and 7 to the larger stationary sources.
Mr. Bell,
Yes.
how many of these NOVs eventually wind up in a court action?
Very few. One in the last 7 years.
Thank you.
Yeah. I wanted to touch briefly on the air basins within California. California is always recognized as the leader in air quality efforts. And within California, I think there are 13 or 14 individual air basins. And each of these air basins then can be made up of 1 or more individual air districts. In the Sacramento Valley, Shasta County is located at the northern end of that. We have 9 air districts in the valley. Over on North Coast, you can see there are 4 air districts there. The Northeast Plateau is its own district, and is its own basin. And each of these basins are treated differently by the state with regards to burn day determinations and attainment status. So here you can see the actual districts where we have a dozen air basins. There are 35 air districts in California, and the Shasta County AQMD is the air district for Shasta County. Over to the west, the North Coast Unified Air Quality Management District is the air district for Trinity, Humboldt, and Del Norte County. The counties to the northeast of us are all individual air districts. Further south, we have Feather River, that's Sutter and Yuba County, and some of the others, Yolo Solano County is a single air district also. And when you go down to San Joaquin, that's a large district. They have a lot of rules because they have a lot of pollution, and those rules apply to all those counties that are shown in that air district. Just wanted to do a quick overview of the district budget. We have 7 staff, 5 inspectors, a secretary, and myself, and then the Department of Resource Management provides our financial and our air pollution control officer. The district receives most of its money from Shasta County, from the citizens of Shasta County. You can see the burn permit fees. Those come from the individual burners. We have permit to operate fees. Those come from our 480 sources and our Title V sources. We have fines. We have interest, and then we have the state motor vehicle AB 2766 fee. This is a vehicle license fee that's charged every time a license fee is renewed. From the state, we will get subvention. That's just based on our population and any extra activities that we have going. And then there are some other fees that come from the state also, grant administration and portable equipment fees. I put North Coast up there. They have a similar size population in those 3 counties as to Shasta County, and you can see how their budget compares. We have some activities that we don't participate in that North Coast does. North Coast is delegated for asbestos attainment or for asbestos enforcement of the notification rules there. They also charge greenhouse gas fees, and they also do the below ground retail gas stations, which the air district does not permit. Within this air basin, there's a coordinating council, so to speak. It's called the Sacramento Valley Basin-Wide Air Pollution Control Council, or BCC. And each district board designates a council member and an alternate to this council, and they meet about every 2 months. And the BCC adopts the Sacramento Valley Smoke Management Plan annually, and also adopts a triennial air quality attainment plan for the northernmost counties in the valley. The southern counties in the valley are non-attainment for several federal pollutants, so they do their own planning down there. But the northern counties do coordinate our triennial plan. There's also a technical advisory committee that advises this council, and that's made up of the APCOs from each of the air districts. And there's also air quality enforcement and engineering professionals meet to work on the actual plans and any rule development that may come out of those. The air district operates monitors at 3 locations in Shasta County. At Anderson, we're at the police station, and we do ozone, and this is where our 1 continuous PM monitor is, and that's updated hourly, and you can see what the PM 2.5, or the particulate matter at 2.5 microns and smaller, is on a continuous basis there. We also have continuous ozone monitoring at Breslauer and at Shasta Lake at the Lake Boulevard Fire Station. And then we do federal reference method filter tests for particulate at those sites also. And this monitoring is in place for a reason, and it's to show that we are either in compliance or in non-attainment of ambient air quality standards. and Shasta County is in attainment for the federal ambient air quality standards. And these exist primarily for ozone and particulate matter. And you can see on the graph that these are design values for ozone on the first chart there, and at one time we were above the limit for ambient air quality for ozone. That was when the limit was higher, so we were in attainment, and when the limit was reduced here this last year, we were also shown in attainment for ozone.
Mr. Bell, we have a question, please.
Yes.
Actually, it's back a few slides. It was on the comparison of the air district budget. Yes, right here. If these are comparable districts, why is the state motor vehicle number 430,000 compared to 650,000 on the North Coast? Maybe I don't understand what those numbers represent.
Oh, yeah. That is the vehicle license fee, and that is set by your board. And that can be anywhere from $1 or from $0 to $4 for the vehicle license fee. Our fee is set at $3 per vehicle.
And what's it set on the North Coast?
At North Coast, it's $4. And there's an additional $2 that can be raised from vehicle license fees. That's AB 939. That money goes into if a district chooses to collect that money, it does go into a separate fund and is used only for transportation projects.
Okay, thank you.
This fee can be used for anything to enhance compliance, compliance with the state air quality standards.
Thank you.
Okay. Just because we're in attainment for federal ambient air quality standards does not mean that we're in attainment for state air quality standards. And for ozone and for PM10, we are considered non-attainment for state standards for those. To give you an idea of where the emissions come from, just kind of a rough estimate of, I think this was 2008. You can see where the stationary sources of NOx are 8 tons a day. Area sources, these are houses and businesses, not necessarily air pollution sources. They're good for 1 ton a day, and then transportation is the large one for NOx, which is a precursor to ozone, and you can see the numbers also for particulate matter at 10 microns, where they come from. The area sources there, those are dirt roads, wood stoves, and those outdoor burning are the 3 main ones on that 29 tons per day there. The district operates its own website, and this isn't real time, but it is updated every hour. When you do go to the Air District website and under current conditions, you'll see all the monitors in the Sacramento Valley, and they threw in a few from Oregon also. This was from a couple of weeks ago, where we had a yellow at Anderson, and that means we're not good, but we're not unhealthy. We also have a visibility camera. This is located up at Iron Mountain Mine. This was also taken off the website a couple of weeks ago, and it was during a burn day. And you can see they kind of make out a nice plume rise there on the eastern foothills on a burn day. So
Actually, can't make out much of anything. There's so much smog.
it's water vapor.
Is that what it is?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, this was actually a pretty good day.
So explain water vapor then. What am I seeing here? It looks like
Well-
I can't see across the valley.
Yeah, the humidity then is probably above 50%, and it does cut in into the visibility.
Okay,
Yeah, the particulate at that time was probably in the, I'm going to say 50 AQI level, or in micrograms per cubic meter, that would be about 15
AQI,
micrograms.
quality index? Or?
The AQI would be about 50, and that would correspond to about a 15 on the, as it's actually measured in micrograms per cubic meter.
I think he was asking what the AQI stands for.
Oh,
Is that
AQI is air quality index.
what that means?
Yes, and that gives that's a standard reading then, no matter what pollutant you're looking at. If it's, you can have a particulate level of 50 AQI, and if, say, you had a ozone level of 40 AQI, the AQI of the air is 50. It's the highest
Give
one.
us some relevancy. What does that mean? 50 is,
50 is the cutoff point between good and marginal, or moderate.
okay,
Yeah. There are six color codes that go with AQI, green being good, yellow being moderate, orange is unhealthy for sensitive groups, then there's unhealthy, and hazardous, and really bad. Extreme, I think
Really
it is.
bad.
Yeah. Yeah. And
thank you.
typically during a forest fire, we would go into the unhealthy for sensitive groups or unhealthy. And this is that same camera on one of the nights of the Ponderosa fire. One other thing the Air District has been doing a lot of lately are grants. We've got 3 active grants right now that we're working with. The first one I'll cover are the school bus grants. We've had over $4 million the last couple of years, and we've been able to facilitate the purchase of 21 school buses and 53 diesel particulate filters on other school buses. The schools have to provide a $25,000 match, but then these grants will pay for the remainder of the school bus, which typically run at about $160,000. So this grant was part of a bond measure in 2006, and the district received $4 million to work on that. We also hope to get another $500,000 from a couple of the counties within the, well, one within the air basin and one at Siskiyou. We hope to get another $500,000 to possibly buy a couple of more buses, and we do have other buses that can take the diesel particulate filters. So this will go a long ways towards the schools within Shasta County to meet the on-road diesel rule that they're required to meet.
Board Member MacArthur?
So I was wondering, let's see, there we go. Got to learn the buttons right here. If there's any effort to do grants for RABA buses?
No, we haven't done that. We did I believe before my time, the district did do a Carl Moyer grant for a RABA bus, but we haven't done any since.
I'll put that in your thinking cap, okay?
Okay.
Thanks.
Mr. Bell, these particular grants apply solely to school buses?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. This was, there were $200 million carved out of, was it Proposition 1B in 2006, and it was specifically for this program throughout the state. And Shasta County, based on the number and the age of their school buses, was able to get $4 million. So we got a good chunk of a change from that $200 million, and we've been able to get it out to the school districts and to the point where we actually have other projects that we can do, and we hope to get this additional funding from both Colusa and Siskiyou counties here within the next few months and get going on that.
Thank you.
Speaking of Carl Moyer grants, this has been going on, the Carl Moyer grant program, for about 10 years. The idea was to replace diesel engines that are currently operating and that are old and polluting and that look to have the potential to run forever, and the only way to get them off would be to offer an incentive to the owner to replace them with a newer, less polluting diesel engine. A lot of diesel engines will run 50 years, and if they just keep rebuilding it, you're never going to see a turnover to lower emitting engines. So the Carl Moyer program provides up to 85% of the replacement cost of an old engine with a new engine, and that 15% then that the applicant pays is comparable to what he would normally pay on a rebuild of an old engine. The program's been changing a little bit as the diesel regulations come into effect. Anything that's eligible for a Carl Moyer changeout has to be cost effective, and that's based on the rule that applies to that certain engine. So as these diesel rules for portables, off-road, on-road equipment come into play, the ability to use a Carl Moyer grant to replace that engine goes away. So what the district is working on right now, and your board has approved, is the off-road voucher incentive program, and we hope to bring that to the board here in the next few weeks, hopefully. And for this year, we have $300,000 in grant funding, and hopefully we can be providing some vouchers for particularly off-road ag tractors that we haven't been able to repower lately, because the smaller tractor does not lend itself to the newer engines, which are bigger than the old ones. And by replacing the entire piece of equipment, we should be able to get the emissions from those units down. We also run a wood stove replacement program. We've been doing this for the last 7 years. We'll offer a voucher to anybody that buys a wood stove or a fireplace insert that either replaces an older, more polluting wood stove or inserts into a fireplace, and reduce the emissions that way. In the past 7 years, like I say, 351 stove replacements have occurred, and those vouchers have been from $200 to $500. And to date, we've done about $87,000 in vouchers to replace those wood stoves, and it was a very popular program this year with all the vouchers going in 3 days. Current district priorities. We just seem to be getting inundated with questions on the diesel emission regulations. On-road truckers, off-road, portable people seem to be calling all the time, and we're trying to get that straightened out, and hopefully our friends at the state are helping us on that too, because these diesel regulations really are theirs, except for the stationary engine regulation. They are all enforced by the state. We hope to issue a Sierra Pacific Anderson authority to construct as soon as the PSD permit that's issued by EPA becomes official. And like I say, we want to restart the lower emission school bus and Carl Moyer programs. We're currently working on updating our VOC rules. These are the automotive refinishing, what else? Architectural coatings and adhesives rule. We hope to bring that to you. We're trying to update it to include new exempt compounds to allow manufacturers to come up with adhesives and paints that won't pollute as much. And then we'll also be reauthorizing the triennial attainment plan sometime this year. And I think that's about all I had, and I'd be very happy to answer any questions.
We do have some questions. Board Member MacArthur?
You had mentioned that the state compliance, that we're out of state compliance, but we're within federal compliance. Are the programs that you've listed here on your last slide, are those enough to get us up to state compliance with the air quality?
I would have to predict the future, but we are reducing our ambient pollution. As you can see in the, where does charts go? We did start to go down in 2011, and we also went down again in 2012 for ozone. And if we do that for another year, yes, we would probably meet attainment for the state ozone level. The particulate matter, you can see the 2008 there. For the state, there are no exceptional events for the state ambient air quality standards. So if we have a forest fire season, we're not going to make it. And so based on the averaging that goes into it, probably not for particulate matter, but we could for ozone.
So is there a deadline and a potential fine by the state or anything?
No. The non-attainment with the state standard is the precursor then that makes us do the triennial plan that would show that we have made the incremental changes that are needed to reduce pollution and that we are on our way to meeting it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Supervisor Baugh?
Are the state standards scheduled to be altered again?
Not for the ambient air quality right now, not that I know of.
Okay. So SB or AB 32 or SB 375, no further changes in the standards at all from the state?
AB 32 then is
generally the global warming effects and all of the changing standards to meet increased non-pollutant energy standards and decreases in our truck emissions, our ag emissions, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
They're all wrapped around. So this is the lowest standard that we're going to have to meet?
As far as conventional pollutants go, AB 32 is the energy tax, basically. It's going to impact all energy, and that will have an effect of reducing the ambient air quality, or improving the ambient air quality as less and less fuel is burned.
So it was more production standard, not emission standards then?
Right, right. The AB 32 hits Lehigh Cement hard. They have large fees that they have to pay for that. Wheelabrator being biomass, they have avoided that so far. They do have requirements under AB 32 to comply with the state. And then everybody's going to have to buy gasoline that is compliant with AB 32 and their reformulated fuel standards. And so everybody's going to pay for that.
Board Member MacArthur?
Sorry, I've got to figure out which button still. On the chart that showed that we had one yellow spot down in Anderson at one point, when that happens, do you send out a note that says this is a non-burn day, or how do you react to that yellow spot?
The yellow spot is moderate, so we typically don't react. If that were orange, then we would declare a no burn day in the valley, and then we'd have to look at what we're doing above 3,000 feet also. Every morning, the state makes a determination based on the air quality in the entire valley, and based on that, then we can make the burn day decision. We can override it if we want. Sometimes, if we see real stagnant conditions and it happens to be a delta breeze down south, they will declare a burn day, and we will declare a no burn day if it is real stagnant. Another criteria for a no burn day are high winds, and sustained winds above 20 miles an hour are usually a criteria for a no burn day, and we would consult with CAL FIRE on that. And typically, if they're out of the south, then we don't burn because it's blowing towards the legislature.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Mr. Bell. Mr. Bell, thank you very much for the presentations. Most informative.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for the opportunity.
Next item on the agenda is the consent calendar. The following consent calendar items are expected to be routine and non-controversial. They will be acted upon by the board at one time without discussion. Any board member, staff member, or interested person may request an item be removed from the consent calendar for later discussion. I have no requests. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to discuss a consent item?
Move
All
approval
right.
consent calendar.
Thank you. Is there a second to the motion?
I second, but I will also abstain from C1 as I was not present.
I'm sorry, again, please.
I will abstain from voting on C1 as I
Okay.
was not
Very
present.
good.
And I'll do the same.
Very good, ladies. Thank you. We have two abstentions then for part of the consent calendar. C1 was the pleasure of the board. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Thank you. We'll now move to the regular calendar. General Government, County Council, consider adopting a resolution which establishes policies for the operation and conduct of business before the Air Pollution Control Board. That includes the time and place for holding regular meetings. Mr. Cruz.
Thank you, Chairman Keough. In the past, as you're aware, the Air Pollution Control Board was composed of the entirety of the Board of Supervisors, and as such, the rules and conduct for the Air Pollution Control Board were the same as the rules for the Board of Supervisors meetings. Given the change now in the composition of the board, with discussions with Mr. Lees and Mr. Simon and Mr. Bell concerning the new composition, we thought it would be prudent to bring some rules forward to the board consistent with the Brown Act, which requires that we establish a time and place for holding regular meetings, and also establish just some general rules of conduct for the board. These, of course, are just some suggestions that are certainly subject to revision. The most significant I should back up. They're patterned mostly on the rules of the Board of Supervisors meetings. The most significant change is that the meetings are scheduled to be held on once a month on at 8:30 on Tuesday mornings. And I have no other comments, but I'm happy to answer questions.
Mr. Lees.
And just to tag onto that a little bit, as this board knows, but possibly our newest members don't, we would incorporate the Air Pollution Control Board meeting into the regularly scheduled board meetings. And had we continued to do that, that means you would have to be here at 9 a.m. and maybe sit for 2 or 3 hours, not knowing when the the Air Pollution Control Board meeting would begin. So we thought it would be best for all if we picked a fixed time and place. Now, based on the number of meetings that we have annually, they're more likely to be canceled than added. And so even though we're going to schedule them and have them there, there is a potential that they'll be canceled, or some will. The exception to that, of course, is if we have any major project come through, like a Kanawha fiberglass or something like that, then typically for big projects like that, we'll have a special scheduled workshop or meeting that will be unique to that particular project to invite the public to participate and things like that. So I just wanted to give you a little background as to why we went this direction.
Thank you, Mr. Lees.
Yeah, and I just want to confirm that you mentioned once a month we may cancel them, but I'm thinking we have maybe, 5 meetings a year, something like that, 5 or 6 maybe.
Yeah, without any special projects
Right,
coming, yeah.
Just for reference.
Yeah.
Any questions of staff concerning this?
Then I'll make a motion to approve the recommendation by staff.
Thank you. Okay, we have a motion and a second. Further discussion of the motion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Item R3, Resource Management, Air Quality Management District. Consider appointing members of the Air Pollution Control Board to serve as representatives, a representative and an alternate to the Sacramento Valley Basin-wide Air Pollution Control Council. Is there a staff presentation on this? No? Okay. Mr. Modi.
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion to appoint Mr. Kehoe as our representative to the Sacramento Valley Basin-wide Control Board, and I'd like to make a motion for one of the alternates, for an alternate, but I'm looking to see if one of our newest members would be interested in doing that. Then I would make, I'll make part of my motion to appoint Missy MacArthur as the alternate.
Very good.
I'll second that.
So we have a motion and a second. Further discussion on the motion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item R4, Air Pollution Control Board will recess to a closed session to discuss the following items. Estimated 15 minutes. Conference with legal counsel, existing litigation. Government Code Section 54956.9. So we will be in closed session. At the conclusion of the closed session, reportable action, if any, will be reported in open session.